What's a decision that was so bad it would have been funny if the consequences weren't so extreme? When did you realize that your best friend was a wolf in sheep's clothing? My best friend Marissa always said being a mom was her entire purpose. Since we were 16, she'd talk about how many kids she wanted, what she'd name them, what kind of mother she'd be. So when her daughter Zoe was born, I thought I was watching her dream come true. Our daughters grew up together. Zoe and my daughter Ava were inseparable from the age of 3. Sleepovers every weekend, joint birthday parties. They were more like sisters than friends. Fast forward 14 years. Marissa asked if Zoe could stay with us for 10 days while she went to Costa Rica with some guy she'd been dating for 3 weeks. I said yes. Zoe practically lived at my house anyway. The first few days were normal. Movies, junk food, teenage girl stuff. On day 4, Ava came downstairs looking pale. Mom, Zoe won't open her door. She's not answering me. I went upstairs, knocked, nothing. I tried the handle, locked. Zoe never locked her door. I got the key from the hallway closet. My hands were shaking. I opened the door. Zoe was on the floor next to her bed, barely conscious. Empty pill bottles scattered around her. A note folded on the nightstand. I screamed for Ava to call 911. In the ambulance, I held Zoe's hand and called Marissa. I could barely get the words out. Zoe tried to kill herself. We're on the way to the hospital. Silence. Then, are you sure it's serious? She's always been dramatic. I thought I'd misheard her. Marissa, they're pumping her stomach. You need to come home. She sighed. Flights are like $400 to change. Can you just handle it until I get back? I couldn't speak. At the hospital, the doctors stabilized her. I texted Marissa updates every few hours. Photos of Zoe in the hospital bed. Details from the doctors. Her responses got shorter each time. Okay, got it. Keep me posted. Meanwhile, she was posting Instagram stories from the beach. Sunset cocktails, her and the new boyfriend kissing. Paradise found. I took off work, used all my sick days, slept in the chair next to Zoe's bed for 5 nights. One night around 2 a.m., Zoe woke up crying. She looked at me and said, "She's not coming, is she?" I didn't know what to say. Why doesn't she love me anymore? I held her while she sobbed. I had no answer. Marissa finally flew back on day 9. She showed up at my house the day after landing, tanned, relaxed. She hugged Zoe for about 2 seconds, then asked where she'd left her jacket before the trip. I started explaining Zoe's recovery plan, the therapy appointments, the medication adjustments, the safety protocols. Marissa's face tightened. Why are you making all these decisions? She's my daughter. Because you weren't here. I needed a break. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. Your daughter almost died. Teenagers are dramatic. She probably just wanted attention. That's when I heard a sound from the hallway. Zoe was standing there. She'd heard everything. Marissa barely looked at her. I lost it. I told her she chose a vacation over her dying daughter. I told her Zoe's life was apparently worth less than a $400 flight change. I told her she wasn't a mother. She was a stranger who happened to give birth. Marissa's voice went cold. You've always wanted to take her from me. I see it now. She grabbed Zoe's bag from the couch. We're leaving. Zoe didn't move. Zoe, now. I don't want to go with you. Marissa's face twisted. Excuse me? I want to stay here. Marissa lunged toward her and grabbed her arm. Zoe screamed. I stepped between them. Get your hands off her. She's my daughter. You can't keep her from me. She just told you she doesn't want to go. Marissa pulled out her phone. Fine. I'm calling the police. You're kidnapping my child. 15 minutes later, 2 officers were standing in my living room. Marissa was crying, pointing at me, saying I'd manipulated her daughter and was holding her hostage. The officers asked to speak with Zoe alone. They took her into the kitchen. I could see her through the doorway. She was trembling, tears running down her face. Her hands were shaking in her lap. One officer knelt down to her level. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I saw Zoe's face. I saw her look toward the living room where Marissa was still performing for the other officer. I saw the fear in her eyes. Then I saw her mouth move. She said something. The officer nodded. Asked another question. Zoe answered. More tears, but she kept talking. The officer in the kitchen walked back out. He looked at Marissa. Ma'am, your daughter has expressed that she doesn't feel safe going home with you. She's asked to remain here. Marissa's performance stopped. She's confused. She's been manipulated. She's also disclosed some things we'll need to follow up on. I'd recommend you cooperate with the investigation. Investigation? CPS will be in contact. For now, the minor stays here. Marissa looked at me with pure hatred. Then she grabbed her purse and walked out without saying goodbye to her daughter. Zoe ran to me and buried her face in my chest. I held her while she cried. That was 3 months ago. Marissa hasn't called once, hasn't texted, hasn't asked about her own daughter. Zoe's in therapy twice a week. She's doing better. She laughs again sometimes. Last week she called me mom by accident, then looked at me to see if I was upset. I wasn't. I'm currently working on adopting her.